I found the hospital through a rumor in the night shift laundry room, a place in northern Greece locals called the Fever Annex. It was shut down in the 1980s after a cluster of deaths, but no one said exactly why. The road was too quiet. My headlamp cut dust like dry snow, and inside the annex the air smelled of boiled metal and old bleach. A ceiling fan hung over an empty corridor, still and yet trembling when I breathed too hard. Then the building answered, a drip that came in deliberate patterns, a shuffle that matched my pace. I stopped. It stopped. I moved again. It resumed, closer. My light caught bed frames pushed outward as if someone had made room for an invisible patient. At the corridor's end, a linen cart sat open. The sheets were folded with care, but the folds were wrong. No hospital routine, just memory. Under the top sheet was a paper tag tied with string, a name in Greek and a day of week repeated 3 times, not a year. I should have turned back. Instead, I followed the sound into the chapel room, used for prayer before procedures. Stained glass clouded from smoke or humidity. Candles burned into stubby fingers of wax, and nothing left to light them. The wax still smelled faintly sweet, like myrrh. Behind the altar, a cabinet stood slightly open. Its hinges sighed, wet and slow. Inside were stamped medical forms, marked with the same symbol again and again, a circle split by a line. The pages had been torn from their neighbors, but staples remained, as if records were taken without the full story. A voice rose above, no words, only the steady rhythm of recitation. My light swept the ceiling tiles. One tile was missing. When I leaned toward the gap, the recitation shifted into soft breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the hole. I backed into a main wing that felt older than the rest, repaired and then ignored. Wallpaper peeled in layers, hiding an older repeating icon that looked like a boat. When my phone signal vanished completely, the annex became louder. The drip returned from inside the walls. The shuffle traced the hallway, always one step behind. Bed frames creaked as if settling. Dust lifted in a thin sheet, then settled, like a body passing through the air. The morgue door waited at the end of the wing, thick metal with a small observation window. Fingerprints smeared from the inside dragged in arcs, as if someone kept trying to see out. I remembered the rumor. The lock never stayed fully secure. I touched the handle. It was warm. The latch clicked without effort, and the door opened a crack. Cold air poured out, carrying antiseptic and damp cloth. Inside, gurneys lined up beneath gray sheets. On the nearest gurney, one sheet was pulled back, not to reveal a body. It revealed a stack of folded linens, neatly arranged like shift prep. The linens were slightly damp, as if warmed moments ago. A string lay across the top, tied in the same knot as the tag. When I reached for it, the prayer rhythm returned, threaded through my bones. I stepped back. The observation window fogged from the inside. Pale, soft, fingertip-like shapes pressed against the glass, warping it as they moved, then clearing, as if whatever was there decided I was finally looking. My light found the missing ceiling tile again, and this time it wasn't in the corridor. It was directly above the morgue. A thin strip of ductwork led to a newer panel. I pried it open. A narrow crawl space revealed a small speaker wired into the building's old intercom system. The sound was looped prayer, triggered by movement sensors. But the loop wasn't random. It matched my pauses. The annex had been listening, learning, turning fear into a procedure. Then I saw what was hidden by the speaker, a modern hospital badge laminated in current, with a name in Greek and an ID photo almost my age. It looked like proof someone had returned after the shutdown. Behind the badge lay a notebook filled with times and observations. Every time I heard a drip, a shuffle, a recitation, the notebook used the same words I wrote in my own notes. The Fever Annex hadn't just kept records. It collected visitors. It selected us through routine sounds, through familiar fear. It staged the annex like a patient, and that warm morgue handle had been warm because the next shift was still coming. When I backed out, the chapel candles flared once, then went dark. The drip stopped. The shuffle stopped. Silence flooded the corridors, complete and heavy. In that silence, I heard one last sound, a key turning in the morgue latch from the inside.